Hello, Chrissy here, Footprint Tarot. This is part 5 and the last part of my readings on the Chappaquiddick incident, where Teddy Kennedy apparently drove a car off a bridge on Chappaquiddick Island, and the accident resulted in the death of a 28-year-old teacher and young woman who had worked on his brother Bobby's presidential campaign, Mary Jo Kopechne. The first 4 parts looked at Teddy and then Mary Jo in the months previous to the incident. The night of the incident was part 3. Part 4 was the actual accident itself. And now this is looking at the aftermath, as in not a little bit about Mary Jo's death, but as in prosecutions, inquests, things like that. There are a lot of questions. I asked some questions before. I did the yes/no format in the night of the accident one, and I will use that format a little bit here. And as usual, I'm using the Steampunk Tarot deck by Barbara Moore, illustrated by Ali Fell, and the little everyday mini tarot for clarification. So before I go on, I do want to say that there is in no way any disrespect meant towards the Kennedy family or the memories of Teddy Kennedy, and no disrespect at all meant towards the family of Mary Jo Kopechne, and no disrespect towards any of the other people who were involved. But I think things unfolded afterwards the way they did, largely because he was a Kennedy. If he wasn't who he was, I think he would have suffered different consequences. So, but there are still some unanswered questions, I suppose. Anyway, the first thing I have to look at is John Farrar was the captain of the search and rescue squad who went into the river, and he retrieved Mary Jo's body from the car, and he stated in his opinion that she'd suffocated. That was his opinion. He wasn't a doctor or anything, but he'd seen a lot of incidences, I think, and he'd had a lot of experiences. It was his opinion that she'd suffocated in an air bubble that had formed in the car, and she'd run out of air, and she was still alive. He speculated that she would have been alive up to 2 hours after the accident, and he was not very happy. He felt that if Teddy Kennedy had reported the incident straight away, they could have gotten there within 25 minutes, and there's a good chance that Mary Jo would have survived. Now, the doctor who signed the medical certificates, Dr. Donald Mills, he stated she died from drowning. No autopsy was done, and I'll ask why in a little bit. But first, I'm going to do the yes/no reading to find out if the cards can help determine whether she drowned or suffocated. Either way, to me, seems like horrific. And the suffocating even more so, because that meant that she probably could have been saved. Asphyxiation, I mean, if she'd had, but we'll have a look. I'll ask just, did Mary Jo Kopechne drown? Did Mary Jo Kopechne drown? Did Mary Jo Kopechne drown? Okay. I'm asking 3 times just to really get the question established. At the bottom of the deck for this, there's a tower. Whether that means that the answer to this question is going to topple a long-held opinion by people or not, I don't know. But whatever it was devastating, her death. So 1, 2, 3. Knight of Swords. Queen of Pentacles. 4 of Cups. Maybe. Yes, yes. This is saying yes. I'll move the Tower card. The other question I'm going to ask here is, did Mary Jo Kopechne suffocate? Did she asphyxiate? Now, a card flipped over. I'm going to find it. That's the Moon card. It's interesting. I'll leave that one out. The Moon card is a no. And the Tower is a no. But we've got 3, a maybe and 2 yeses here. And the card that flipped over when I asked if she suffocated is a no. I'm not going to look at those. Did Mary Jo Kopechne suffocate? Did Mary Jo Kopechne suffocate? Did Mary Jo Kopechne suffocate? 2 of Wands. Yes. Ace of Cups. Yes. Knight of Cups. Yes. Now this is 3 definite yeses, and this is a maybe and 2 yeses, or 2 maybes and a yes. Maybe. So this is odd. Drowning's a maybe and 2 yeses, with a no on the bottom. Suffocation is 3 yeses, with a no falling out of the deck or flipping over in the deck. Okay. Did she suffocate? Did she suffocate? Did she suffocate? Three of Swords. That's a no. Hangman. Maybe. Hermit. Maybe. 10 of Wands. Yes. Did she drown? Did she drown? Did she drown? Nine of Cups. Yes. Queen of Swords. Maybe. Seven of Cups. Maybe. I'm going to look at this. I'm tending towards suffocation here, and I'll tell you why. This said no, but the moon is also keeping secrets. Secrets coming to light. They've been saying no for years and years that she drowned. They charged in to say she drowned. They didn't do an autopsy. And they're wishing. That's what they want. That's what they want people to believe still. The Queen of Swords is Mary Jo. This is saying this is not the right answer. The Queen of Pentacles is Mary Jo, and the Queen of Swords is standing up for the truth, and it's saying yes, she drowned, but I still don't think she did. This is the one that flipped me towards suffocation. Seven of Cups is illusion. Four of Cups. We're going to look at the drowning. We're going to say the drowning. We're not going to take any notice. We're not even going to acknowledge that she could have suffocated, and we're going to gaslight. I think she suffocated. Oh, that's just... I think she was alive in that car for up to 2 hours, and she suffocated in an air bubble. She just ran out of oxygen in that air bubble. Again, that's my opinion on this. But all this could have been answered. This question of whether she drowned or suffocated could have been answered definitively if they'd done an autopsy. And I'm going to ask, why didn't they do an autopsy when the incident happened? There's two chances they had to determine. The first was an autopsy, and they didn't do it. The second was when Edmund Dennis, the prosecutor, a couple of months after the incident, he asked for an order to exhume Mary Jo's body so an autopsy could be done, simply because of the fact that an autopsy was not done at the time. So I'm going to ask the question is, why wasn't an autopsy done at the time? Just going to grab a spread to answer this. I'm going to do an overview spread, which if people have been watching me, you know that that's one of my favourite spreads. It's quick and it's simple. So I'm going to do an overview spread on that. So look at the bottom of why wasn't an autopsy done. Four of Wands. Homecoming. Muted homecoming. Perhaps her family just wanted her to be brought home so she could be buried. No autopsy. Ace of Pentacles. There was no autopsy. As far as I know, there were no religious reasons not to do it. And this is saying new money, new opportunity. Maybe not having an autopsy was viewed as an opportunity to just get this out of the way as quick as possible. And perhaps some money was exchanged, like we'll help you pay for the funeral and stuff, but it's gonna have to happen quick. The influences at the time on why there wasn't an autopsy. Money again, dark money, group work, people getting together and say we can't have an autopsy, it just can't happen. We've just got to bury this as quick as, pardon the pun, we have to get this out of the way as quick as possible. Lena Rodriguez with the Ace of Swords says to take note of the gap in the hedge when there is one in the card. She says because people making the same mistakes. This is indicative of people making the same mistakes. Not making a mistake in huddling together and trying to work through this. What was over the whole situation? The Four of Pentacles. Wanting to cling on to reputation. I don't think it was money in this state. Reputation, power. It's all that's what matters. You know, he could lose his reputation, he could lose his position. It was more important that he hang on to that, and that was overriding everything. The immediate future after the accident. The Knight of Pentacles. Reliability, steady, a lawyer perhaps. An offer again of financial help. We just want to help you out, Mr. and Mrs. Chappaquiddick. We just want to help you out. You know, this must be hard for you and a great loss, and we just want to take some of that burden off you, whether it was the truth or not. What was underlying it all? The Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is new action in an investigation. In this instance, they didn't want an autopsy. They didn't want this too closely investigated. That's what was underlying it all, and they just didn't want to think about it. This is what people don't want to think about today, now as well. The recent past with that, how did that influence it, the recent past? Justice. Somebody was looking for justice about something, and I think it might have been Mary Jo. I think she wanted to bring something to light because she felt justice needed to be served there. And what did they do next? They appealed to emotions. We're here to provide you emotional support and stability and, you know, everything we have. But the lid's off the emotional cup here. In other decks, like the Rider-Waite, there's a lid on the cup. This one, the lid's off. But there's clouds in the background. In the back of the window, it's like we're going to use this emotional situation to cloud what really happened. I'm just going to do a clarifier on that and a clarifier on the justice one. Everything else I think is pretty clear. Knight of Pentacles. We're here to stand beside you and offer stability. I hope everyone can hear me. I don't have a microphone. I'm looking at getting a web camera, but I just don't have one. Let's have a look at the Justice. Well, firstly, we'll have a look at the bottom of the card. Judgment. They really wanted to avoid any judgment, so they wanted it gotten out of the way as quickly as possible. Justice, in the recent past, there was some conflict because she wanted something to come to light so justice could be done in the situation. And the clouding the issue, they had to cloud the issue, they had to win it, or they had to win, they had to look victorious, they had to look like they were doing the right thing. They used the emotional aspect of getting this young woman home and married to cloud the issue, and they won. They got what they wanted. I'm just going to pause now and be back in a minute to do the second half of the reading. Okay, welcome back. Now, done why there wasn't an autopsy at the time. 7 days after the accident, Teddy Kennedy pleaded guilty to leaving the scene of an accident, and he was given a 2-month suspended sentence. Even though he could have been thrown in jail for 2 months, the judge opted to suspend it because of his good record, his family name, blah, 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 blah. Sorry, that's disrespectful, but, you know, all of it. No record of having done any other wrongdoing and stuff, so... In January of 1970, the inquest took place, and the Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court ordered that the inquest be done secretly. I suppose they just might not have wanted a huge lot of people filling the rooms and everything. The basic facts were established, which was that when the accident occurred between 11:30 p.m. on July 18 and 1 a.m. on July 19, Chappaquiddick and Kennedy did not intend to drive to the ferry slip, and his turn onto Dyke Road had been intentional. A speed of 20 miles per hour, as Kennedy testified, to operating a car as large as his Oldsmobile would be at least negligent and probably reckless. For some reason not apparent from his testimony, he failed to exercise due care as he reached the bridge, and there is probable cause to believe that Edward M. Kennedy operated his motor vehicle negligently, and that such operation appears to have contributed to the death of Mary Jo Chappaquiddick. That is a summary of the findings of that inquest. And it's interesting, one of the cards flew out of the deck and landed in my little rubbish bin, and I've just picked it out, and that's the card, the Three of Pentacles. I'm just going to bring this up a little bit more. Let me see. Move. Now, the grand jury, excuse me. Okay, so that's the summary of what came out of the inquest. Another couple of things. Judge Boyle, who presided over the inquest, found probable cause that Teddy Kennedy had contributed a crime and could have issued an arrest warrant. However, he did not. Edmund Dennis, the prosecutor, decided not to prosecute Teddy Kennedy for manslaughter. Now, this is a few months later. Edmund Dennis did, I've just got to find the date, a couple of months after the accident, did request, in October of 1969, Edmund Dennis did request the court to allow an exhumation of Mary Jo Chappaquiddick's body to enable an autopsy to be done to determine her cause of death. Now, the judge in that case, Bernard Breminski, turned it down. The request was opposed by Mary Jo's parents and her forensic pathologist, Werner Spitz, who testified on behalf of Joseph and Gwen Chappaquiddick that the autopsy was unnecessary and the available evidence was sufficient to conclude that Mary Jo Chappaquiddick died of drowning. Excuse me. Was there, I'm going to ask a very simple question, was there pressure to not allow the exhumation? Was pressure put on the Chappaquiddick and Judge Breminski to deny the exhumation? Was pressure put on the Chappaquiddick and or Judge Breminski to deny the exhumation order? Was pressure put on Chappaquiddick and Judge Breminski? 1, 2, 3. When we look at them, we'll look at Knight of Swords. Someone coming in fighting. I'm going to assume that these cards are upside down. The Hermit. I guess those. The Seven of Cups. And the Nine of Cups. Maybe. Maybe. Yes. That's a yes. Pressure was put on them to object, and pressure was put on the judge. Well, I think it was put on subtle sort of pressure, a little, on the parents to object. And I wonder who paid for that. The forensic pathologist. Someone would have paid for him. How the hell would he know if she drowned or suffocated, based on a testimony of a doctor? So 1, 2, 3. Yes, pressure was put on. Yes, pressure was put on. Yes, pressure was put on. That's a clear yes. Pressure was put on either Mary Jo's parents or the judge to object to the exhumation, which really would have answered the questions of how their daughter died. But it would also have opened up a very big can of worms for Teddy Kennedy. Okay. Now, after the inquest, in April of 1970, a grand jury was convened to see if Teddy Kennedy should be charged, and they were not given access to the inquest records. They were only given access to what Edmund Dennis was given, and they were told they could not consider anything other than the unsealed, publicly available information. Of course, they returned a, nothing to see here verdict. Edmund Dennis decided not to prosecute Teddy Kennedy for manslaughter, even though Judge Boyle had found there was probable cause. Judge Boyle didn't issue a warrant for his arrest. I'm going to ask the same question. Was pressure put on Judge Boyle not to issue the warrant? Because he could have. He wasn't obligated to, from what I understand, but he could have. And I think with somebody else he might have. But was pressure put on Judge Boyle not to issue the warrant? Queen of Cups. He tried to appeal to his emotions. 1, 2, 3. 3 of Swords. Heartbreak. No. No. Yes. That's a no. Queen of Pentacles. Another queen. Mary Jo. Think about Mary Jo. Think what all this would do to her reputation, blah, blah, blah. Ace of Wands, yes. King of Cups, yes. 2 of Wands, yes. One said no, one said yes. I think pressure was put on him, but it was very, very subtle. And it wasn't, no money was involved. I do not think that money changed hands with this, but I think they did put pressure on him. I think they appealed to his emotions about how horrible it would be to, and how much it would proceedings would just drag Mary Jo's name through the mud, and she's dead and she can't answer for herself, poor girl, and things like that. I think that same sort of manipulation was used on her parents, and I'm going to ask if her parents were manipulated by Teddy Kennedy or whoever represented him. But anyway, the next question I'm going to ask was Edmund Dennis pressured not to prosecute the manslaughter case against Teddy Kennedy? Because everything up until then was like he wanted to know more. He wasn't happy with the inquest. He wasn't happy with the findings of the doctor, obviously, and the fact that there was no autopsy, because he asked for one to be done. I don't think he was happy with just leaving. He wasn't happy with the questions that were leading it. So I'm going to just say, firstly, was he pressured not to prosecute Teddy Kennedy? 7 of Wands, he was standing his ground. He was defending. Wheel of Fortune. I've done it again. I've got the whole deck upside down. So, Wheel of Fortune. Yes. Queen of Pentacles. Yes. 9 of Wands. Yes. And again, because it's the Queen of Pentacles, Mary Jo's card, I think they were trying to appeal to, think of Mary Jo, think of all the scandals that this could, and think how it could stain her name, not just Kennedy's. Think about, this man is destined for great things. And it will be a battle for you. We will fight it with everything we have. And Mary Jo's just going to be, the only thing that's going to happen is her reputation's going to be stained. The High Priestess. Secrets. Hidden knowledge. Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. It's something we'll never get a definitive answer on. Not officially. The World. Yes. Nine of Swords. That's a no. Six of Wands, that's a yes. We will win. It's going to be a huge battle for you. We will win. This Nine of Swords, that's a no. No, they didn't pressure. No, that's not what I read. I read it. You're just going to cause anxiety for her family that they don't need. We're not trying to pressure you. But think about her family. Think about the anxiety it would cause them. To have to sit every day and hear their daughter's name being dragged through this rigmarole. And maybe some things might come out. All I see here is emotional blackmail, and yeah. The world's watching. This man's destined for really big things. They did put pressure on him not to prosecute. Ultimately, he didn't. And I don't think it was because they put the pressure on him not to prosecute. I think it's because he knew that even if he was 100% certain, he would never be able to win the case. It would be, he wouldn't be able to win. They'd beat him. Was Edmund Dennis. He was a big, jovial man, apparently. He was a character, Edmund Dennis. Was he affected by this whole sordid mess? Did it affect him? The Lovers is a yes card. And I think it affected the way he saw his relationship with the Kennedys, even though he might not have shown it. Ten of Cups, yes. King of Cups, yes. Page of Cups, yes. The Ten of Cups. It's often referred to as a card for the GOP in today's, but this is Camelot, the happy family. the whole happy, shiny family. And some readers often see it as a facade. He put up a facade for his family, but it did affect him. He may have overindulged, had a few problems after that. The Page of Cups, new offer. I'm not quite sure what that one means, but I'll do an offer, news, good news. I don't think he felt good about it at all. Pages are young, they're immature. They're the seeds of an idea. Page of Pentacles. I think he felt really lost again, young, immature. I think he thought about maybe his own children, how he would have felt if their lives had been snuffed out. But the Two of Cups, he made his decision, he made that decision. For his family, he made a deal for his family. Three of Cups, overindulgence. I think he really, really struggled with this for the rest of his life, and it could have led to some problems later on. And the Eight of Wands, he just felt like maybe he didn't have a problem with maybe drinking or something before that, but afterwards he did, and it went downhill really, really quickly. May even have caused a problem with gambling, I'm not sure. But anyway, it's a pretty sordid mess. It's a sad mess. And again, no disrespect back to anyone. I already know from reading that John Farrar, the man who got Mary Jo out of that car, was affected for the rest of his life by this. And I think that Edmund Dennis really wanted to find out the truth of how she died, and he really, really wanted to prosecute Kennedy, but he was put in an impossible situation. He wouldn't have succeeded because of the power and the money behind Kennedy, and he was affected by it for the rest of his life. And I do feel that Mary Jo's parents were manipulated. Anyway, this is the last reading for this subject. If you do enjoy these readings that I do, and you have any subjects you want me to look at, please leave a comment. I hope you've enjoyed this. 5-part series is not something I'll be doing very often. It was just the breadth and the complexity of this whole thing that required several readings. So thank you again very much, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye bye.